Hello, welcome to my channel. This is Achen Patricia. I hope you've been keeping safe and taking very good care of yourselves. Here in Uganda, it's a beautiful afternoon. It's a beautiful afternoon here, and I would like to thank God for all of us and for keeping us safe wherever we are. Yes, the last time I did record my video, I said I would be sharing stories. The reason as to why I chose to use this platform is because it captures a very big and wider group of persons. And secondly, it's because most people have a very poor reading culture. I've always wanted to be a writer. So I would put my pen to paper and write my story and tell my story in writing. But I notice most people do not love to write, do not love to read. That is why I chose to use this platform. Today I am going to talk about what it felt like to transition from the agony, the wrath, and the ruthless, brutal, and massive killings of the LRA rebel. Some say La Quena, I don't know. I was born in 1987 in a small hospital in Gulo district, that is in Awach Hospital. Imagine being born at a time when children are being killed, at a time when mothers are running for the safety of their children. Imagine being born at a time where the able-bodied people were being abducted and taken as gunmen, others as wives of rebels. Imagine being born at a time where you are not free at all. Imagine being born at a time where the sound of a baby does not bring joy. Imagine being born at a time when the sound of a baby's cry will either give you freedom or will lead you to your grave. That was the time we were born. We were born, two of us at the same time. I am a twin. I don't know what it felt like when my mother gave birth to us then. I don't know what she went through when she gave birth to us then. But when she narrates her story, it was a story and a time of struggle. A time of running up and down for refuge. A time of running down for peace. A time of running up and down to seek comfort. But there was no comfort at all. If my mother narrates, she narrates that at the time we were born, there was a lot of massive killing. Girls being raped, girls taken as wives, young boys that are stronger taken as gunmen by the rebels. My mother says that when it got to 5 p.m., everyone would leave the villages and they would run to the nearby towns or hospitals to seek for refuge. But every time she ran with us, she prayed that we would not cry. That was the time I was born. The sound of a baby crying meant the rebels would know where you were hiding. And she kept praying, how do I get out of this with my 2 children? We are the second last born children. The others grew up in similar hardships or even worse hardships. We've had brothers and sisters who have been abducted, but thanks to God that some of them forged their way through and came back home. My mother narrates that one day, at about the age of about 3 months, she ran with us to the bush to seek refuge. And my brother asked her, "Mommy, I want to take water." She looked around. Imagine running with nothing, just running with a cloth or something that would help you cover and transit through the night. No water, no nothing. She told my brother, "Please, urinate in my hands and drink your urine." That was the only hope for him to quench his thirst. Life was not amazing. Life was not beautiful. When we got to the age of 6 months, my mother narrates that she had taken us for immunization. Just as she had reached the hospital entrance, the rebels sparked off another attack. She looked around and thought of ways possible of how do I run with my children. She said, "No, I'll not run with my children." She carried me and my twin sister, placed us in a trench, and ran for her dear life. I can't stop imagining what happened. The bullets, what happened? I can't stop imagining. I can't stop asking myself what happened at that time when she left us there. I can't stop asking myself what transpired, because her alone cannot also explain what happened when she left us there. She narrates that a few hours later, when the situation was put to calm, she came back and she found us there in one piece. I don't know what happened, but what I can say, it was probably the grace of God. Towards the end of 1987, as we transitioned through to 1988, my mother chose to say, "Now, I think I need to run away from this horror and seek for refuge, seek for asylum in a better district." That is when my mother chose to say, "I am going back. I'm going to Kampala. Maybe there is peace there." But moving from Gulu, crossing Karuma, was a tug of war, because there were always a lot of ambushes. There was always a lot of killings. It was a transition that was so hard, very, very hard for her, I can imagine. My mom says we transitioned from Gulu because Karuma was always, after Karuma, then you had hope that you had gone away from the horror of the LRA rebel. When we reached Kamdini, according to her narration, she says there was an ambush. There we were. Everyone was asked out of the bus. Everyone was asked out of the bus. Those who were not strong enough were killed. Those who had the energy were captured. The bus was put to shelter. That is when she said to herself, "I think I have run out of luck. I have left it to God. It is you, God, that is going to take me through this. You're going to see me through this. And she left it to God. Then one of the rebels walked to her as they were picking out a lot of people from here and there, those who were running away from Gulu coming to Kampala. Then when they got to her, with us, the two children that she was carrying, because we were the youngest then, they said, this is a mother of twins. Let her go. I can imagine how she felt like. I can imagine what it felt like for her at that time. She saw God in the face of this woman rebel, telling her, this is a mother of twins. Let her go. And that is how we trekked from Kamdini to the next town, past Karuma to the next town. Unfortunately for her, there was an army bus truck that was coming towards Kampala. That is how we got ourselves out of the horror of the LRA rebel at that time. I imagine there was a ray of hope. I imagine there was a ray of peace. Her narration was like that. How I wish I can get time to sit with her down and ask her to have an interview with you. If she has the courage to share her story of how she transitioned with us and how she got to where she is now. When we got to Kampala, as we were growing at about the age of 2, 3, 4, 5, there was a ray of hope. We were united again because my father forged his way through way before we could forge our way through at that time. Now we are here in Kampala. There is peace. No one is running. No one has to chase you. There are no gunshots. There was peace. We were one big family again. I don't know what it is that you are running away from. I don't know what it is that you're fighting with in your family. I don't know what it is that your families could be going through. But I want to say there is hope at the end of everything that happens in life. My mother always gave us that hope. She always gave us the little that she could afford to get. And that is how we moved on. And we kept on moving on like that. We moved on like that throughout our childhood, throughout our teenage life. And as a teenage girl, I appreciated that life is a struggle. Life is not what it is. And because the life that I walked through was a life full of struggles, we somehow got hostile in our teenage age. Little did I know that getting hostile was going to throw me in a den of another big trouble. I want to tell you today that you're out there, the world is having wars. There are many countries in wars. There are many countries in pain. There are many countries that are having a lot of up and downs. There are many families that are broken. There are many families that are trying. But I want to say, keep the hope going. You could be there in a situation of war and peace. You're struggling. You're running up and down. I want to say there is hope. We didn't know my mother would walk through that fire and get us out of there. I want to assure you today that there is hope that comes at a time when you least expect it. Keep hanging on. Pray and believe in God that you are going to get there. Continue watching my channel. Subscribe. There's a lot more to talk about. The next time we meet, I'll be talking about how getting indisciplined as a teenage girl got me into very, very big trouble. It was not trouble that, it is trouble that has impacted on my life up to today as a mother, as a woman, and I'm still living with this until today. Continue keeping safe. Look forward to seeing you next Sunday. And I hope that the teenage girls out there would be there to watch this and share their story. This is a story that impacts on every young girl that is growing up to be what they think they have to be for the future. God bless you. Continue keeping safe. Wash your hands, sanitize, and above all, maintain social distance. God bless you.